Good evening, everybody. We are doing a basic introduction to the RAD2400 HD Orgone Generator from orgonegenerator.com. Pretty heavy device. This is one of our heavier duty devices, $17.99, made in the USA. You can see the rubber corners there for setting it down, the silver output tube, 2 well plates, Orgonite stick pad, 8 dials, 2 for the frequency, 6 for radionic rates, power, output target, output trend, output audio input, input target, input trend. This is one of the first heavy duty device, affordability wise, $1,800 about. Again, make sure you're getting your Orgone generator from us. You get the full customer support from me and our team, our warranty, 45 days, no questions asked, full refund, and 2-3 year device warranty depending on what goes wrong with it. We will not leave you unhappy. That is our promise. Check the reviews. Any questions, comments, you can put in the put below. Like and subscribe. You can also email, call, but you can send us questions or you can comment with questions. We're going to do live streams and we're going to answer specific questions, queries, do specific operations. When using these tools, remember, if you got it plugged in and turned on, you're ahead of the curve. These are very versatile tools. We're not dogmatic. So, for example, we provide a blueprint on how to work with the devices, but there is a free range. Once you've developed your personal preference, your understanding of the use of the device, the bottom line is it puts out an orgone field. You can color that orgone field with specific energies, essences, and you can change the frequency of the output of the orgone. You can direct the orgone field towards whatsoever means you desire, except not for healing. So with this device, these 2 dials here for the frequency, 3.5 hertz, oneness, 6.3 hertz, creativity, 7 hertz, memory, 7.83 hertz, Schumann resonance, 10 hertz centering, 14.1 hertz mental physical activity, and then the last notch turns the control over to this dial, which has full range from 0 to 100. We have a list of frequencies and what they're usable for. You can have the frequency set here and run multiple other operations, and you can not use the frequency at all. Just leave it on the lowest setting, set your operations on your program, written down on the rates on the device, and do it that way. The primary purpose of these devices is the orgone output. Secondarily, they are radionics devices. Radionics simply means action at a distance. So these radionic rates are used to tune in to a specific target, trend, etc. Just like you would with a muscle test, a pendulum. It's an ideomotor response. So it's basically a tool for which you focus. So when you rotate here and rotate here, you're using both sides of the brain and you can lock in a target, a trend, just like you would doing a mind map or a written trend. So to start, I like to keep it simple, and I do written trends personally. They are equally as effective. The program, the rates, the written trends, it's just a matter of personal preference. So it's up to you. You can do all the above. But with the rates, here's an example. Let's say you've got a busy day, 14.1 hertz. Let's say you got some of your close homies working with you and you guys have a lot to do. So you got 14.1 hertz and you've got 6 friends over, 7 let's say, okay, and you, but you have your transfer piece. This goes on the device, on the output really, but you can put it here, it still works the same. So you've got your pendant, you've got your 14.1 hertz. Jimmy, dial him in. Sally, dial her in. You can read books about how to dial it in, but basically you lock in when it's comfortable for you, when it feels right for you, the intended target or purpose of the setting. Like you could do optimism, we'll do that later. But for this example, 7 targets. So you could be standing next to the person, look at them, and lock in their rate. You could remember their face, lock in their rate. Sight, sound, vivid memory, what do they look like, feel like, etc. That's, typical manifestation. You want to get a clear picture of the intended target or trend and lock it in as such. Then you can later reference that number. So you basically connect the person to a number. You're the connector. You are the channel for that connection to this rate, that person, through your mind, and it locks it in. The Orgonite is described as like an organic computer chip. They've done studies, people scribble down something, just like, any sort of scribble, and they think of person, place, or thing while they're making that scribble. Well, when the person references the scribble later, they remember that thing, even if they give it a few weeks, something like that. So there you have it. You can put your 7 friends here, lock them in one by one. As an alternate, you could put 7 pictures here. You could put 7 business cards here. So this is an example of 2 trends, 1 trend being a frequency, and 7 targets. So we want everyone to have a nice buzz, a little caffeine essence. Put your coffee here or here. You've got your 7 targets locked in. And yourself, 8. And you've got 14.1 hertz set. So you've now got 7 people linked to the generator with 14.1 hertz and the essence of coffee. Good coffee. Delicious. Test that out. You can do 7 trends for 1 person. You can do 3 trends for 2 people. 5 trends for another 3 people, all on the same device. It's a matter of how you set it up. So you could do like this. We're going to leave it at oneness, target, Sally, trend, optimism, target, Jimmy, trend, confidence. So when you're doing the trend rates, it's the same as the target. Think of a time when you felt confidence. Think of a time when the target felt confidence. Think of someone who's very confident in what that looks like, what that feels like, what that smells like. And as you get that essence of the trend locked in mentally, it locks in physically by way of the rate. We'll do more on that detail later. Mainly I'm just showing the device. This is an advanced device, so if you're looking at this device, you're probably familiar with a lot of this stuff already. But kill a few birds with one stone. Then we got Jimmy, Sally, Susie. Susie, feel love. You can feel love, you can think about love. You could also put a rose quartz right here. You could put a rose quartz here and right below it for Susie. But there you see the dials, okay? Now, same thing with these target trends. So you can do targets. You can do like this. Start with the basics here. It's very basic. You can go into extreme detail. Pardon the handwriting. Doing a few things at once. Target, John, Jim, Nancy, 1, 2, 3. Trend, John feels happy. Jim, confidence. Nancy, trust John. There you go. Believe me, you can get very, very detailed, especially with the program, which allows you to set a series of moving pictures, rates, music, frequencies, all in one place. It's, again, a convenience thing. You can get a picture here, like for confidence. You can get a picture like a very confident celebrity or public figure, and you could attach it. You could write in the back to Jim feels confidence. Put it on here. These are guidelines, target trend. There's not going to be like some alarm that goes off if you put a target on the trend or a trend on the target, as long as you set it up that way. So like you could have 100 different operations written down and just set them right here or set them in front. And as long as you specify in writing what those operations are, then that's fine. Again, we set a simple process, guidelines, targets, trends, frequency, targets, trends for you to use. But once you're familiar with the device, it will work in the way you set it up to. So a lot of people don't even mess with the dials. They just put stuff on the generator, and you can even just have the program running, one little card on here, and do all your programs online. You can even just have the device in your house, or you can put a picture of your garden on it, picture of your house, picture of yourself, energize yourself. Again, this is a basic intro, so we'll do more detail later. But on the inputs and the outputs, basically it's for you to input a target like an external well plate, another generator. You can even do an audio recording of the target. Input trends, same thing. Audio input, classical music, 432 hertz. Output target, you could link your altar to this, for example. You can link like a scalar plate. I've actually had done it at a party, that was pretty nice. Output trend, same deal. So you can actually daisy chain several generators as well. Generators have an amplifying effect. So if you had 3 of these, the sum is greater than the total of its parts. So all 3 would work and amplify each other. So of course water, can energize the water. And you can set it with specific frequencies. You can also, just as an example, this is not practical, but let's say you're going to the other room, you're drinking the water, and you put this here. It's a structural link to your water bottle, the cap. A lot of this comes down to testing. You can test what works, but we've identified and successfully transferred a signal across the Atlantic with an identical and an equivalent structural link. An identical would be like a strand of hair, think like a voodoo doll. It's got your exact DNA on there. Equivalent would be like a written number. Or like writing John. You'd probably want to write his first name, last name. That's an equivalent structural link to John. Whereas an identical would be like his picture, something like that. Here's the power booster. Boosts the output of the RAD2400 and all the heavy duty devices. You can see the bigger silver tubing there. That is 99.99% pure silver. These two are linked by a structural link. So this not only boosts the output, but it transfers the Orgone to you. So with this, if you want to run 50 people you know on your overpriced yet effective gold pyramid, you can put their names, cards, pictures here. You can link 7 and put pictures of the others. You can even just throw a party, set this to 33 hertz, and let it fill the room. This will fill a pretty big house very quickly and a lot of people in it. So you can charge water with the frequency of the device. You can charge your coffee after you brew it, before you brew it, both. You can charge yourself with the essence of coffee and all the above. If you're a drink or product manufacturer, you could energize the label. It's actually, we hadn't talked about this before. It's a pretty good secret. Not anymore. So you just energize the label, and that energizes the product, because the label is a structural link to all the products. Now, depending on how many products you have out there, you're going to need a pretty heavy-duty setup. Okay. Now, you can write on a sheet of paper as many trends as you'd like. You know, you just put equal and separate operations. And you can write down 2030 right there. Jim loves Susie. Tim is confident for his meeting. Deal XYZ goes through. Now, operations have to be possible and preferably probable. Say, for instance, you wanted to date someone famous. Well, you're competing against a massive orgone field already around that person. So it would take, you know, the amount of money you'd have to spend on generators, like millions of dollars. You could probably go a different route to do that operation. That's like someone, you know, very famous. Sports game, same thing. You've got millions of people influencing and focusing their energy on that game and its outcome. All right, so you got the 2400 HD. This is a very strong, heavy-duty device. It's very heavy. It's very versatile. 8 dials, 6 for rates, 2 for frequencies. You got those 6 preset frequencies. And then the full versatility on the right. 0 to 100. Audio input, target output, trend output. Power button, of course. The large silver pipe output. And at this point, you likely already know a bit about using an Orgone generator. So you have flexibility in your trends, your targets, your operations. Use the computer, use written statements, use items and alter. Use it in a very basic way. Charge your house, charge yourself, charge your garden, and test it out. Let us know what you think. Call anytime, email orgonegenerator.com, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.